I'm glad no one else can hear that. This is a family restaurant.
Let's go ahead and get thrown out of an Applebee's. We are live.
Hi, everybody.
Ricky Bobby Scott.
All right. Well, welcome to another episode of Craft Beers Gone Wild, number 19. This week's theme is Oktoberfest. So that's a good thing to have. Now, as we know, Thursday, Mr. Ron hasn't been able to come in the Louisiana beer review, so we can't get all the fun facts here. So I have to step up to the plate. I'm giving a little bit of fun facts. If you want more in detail about any of these fun facts, just hit up Louisiana Beer Review, and he will go ahead and give you a dictionary of encyclopedia of all the information about Oktoberfest you need. So,
we're on number 19, I believe. Isn't that right?
That's right. That's
all
right.
right.
Craft beer number 19. So now, did you know that the first Oktoberfest began as a marriage fest? It was actually between the Bavarian king Ludwig I. It was Mary Maria Theresa of Saxonia.
So it was a royal wedding. It was a royal wedding.
It was a royal wedding. Started out as a royal wedding. Right? Now it took place outside of Munich in a place called Theresa Wise, which translates to Theresa Meadows, and it continues to be held there even today. So
am I the only one?
Then they moved it because it got so popular. They moved it to Munich. That's what it is. Now, the average cost of a liter of beer during Oktoberfest, $12 a liter.
$12.
Right. And the ABV, Tanya's going to like this.
Wait a minute. You said $12. The dollar's American.
Right.
Compared to
well,
the
it
liter.
is. That's what it works out to.
Okay. You already did the conversion for us. I like that.
There you go. There you go. I know you Americans can't go ahead and do metrics and stuff.
Tried once, we failed.
Now, the average ABV of the beers there are 7.5 to 8%.
That sounds like my kind of town.
Now, a bottle of water during Oktoberfest is going to set you back $9.
As it should. Not when there's beer available.
So now, someone who is known to have overdrank and passes out during Oktoberfest, we call them a BeerVentures. Now, a BeerVentures actually translates to beer corp. So they're known as a beer corp and stuff during that time. Now, a little fun fact here for the boozer, that the largest Oktoberfest outside of Germany is in Kitchener, Waterloo, Canada.
For Oktoberfest?
Oktoberfest,
Are you sure on that? Because we've been
100%.
we've been told the largest is Cincinnati outside of Munich.
Now, Cincinnati, Ohio is the largest in the United States.
Damn right.
So all next weekend, we should go ahead and have a lot of video from Mr. Rod J there.
Let's do it, son.
All right. Now.
Too much time, too many beers? Or too little time?
Too little.
During Oktoberfest, you cannot start drinking until the mayor says, "U Zappenis." And "U Zappenis" translates to "it's tapped."
No, that should be like bad news.
No,
if it's tapped. Oh, wait a minute. I thought that tapped like we were out. Never mind. Usually tapped can mean you're out of something too.
No, it's tapped. Now, the drinking age during Oktoberfest and in Germany is actually 16. But if you're with your mom and dad, it's 14. So, there you go.
Another way America's left behind.
I'll tell you what. Now, if you want to be a barmaid at the Oktoberfest, you have to be able to carry a minimum without spilling 12 steins. So you have to carry 12 steins at a time without spilling. And to bring it all around to the Craft Beer Gone Wild number 19, the record held by Anita Schwartz is 19 steins without.
Wow.
There you go. There you go. Oktoberfest fun facts for Craft Beer Gone Wild number 19.
Dude, they can use you at a kindergarten. That's some pretty good story time.
There we go. All right. Well, I'm Crunch Kretschmar here out of Chicago, Illinois, up here in the actual Traverse City, Michigan, which, if you look on CNN, was voted the best place to celebrate Oktoberfest this year. So check out that. Yeah. And I am at the little place here called the Filler Station. Now, the Filler Station you would think is like a gas station, but it's actually an old train depot right here that they transferred into a little pizzeria bar. Has a lot of great Oktoberfest beer, more German style beer.
I didn't know what you were doing your hands there for a second. You were kind of putting the face together like it was
I was
something.
trying to grab this idea.
Nails by the rails. Very nice.
Nails by the rail.
I like
That's right. And I got my little beer sampler thing here. I'm a little choo-choo train.
Oh, sweet.
There you go.
So, all right.
And
So,
my name,
go ahead.
my name on YouTube is Thomas Metal 75 Eric. I am on the Massachusetts Beer Reviews channel of YouTube in Southern Massachusetts.
Go ahead, Tom, because Eric just jumped in front of me. So I'll go last since it's my channel.
Right. That's fair. I'm Tanya, and they call me Tanya. It's pretty easy to find me that way. So, yeah.
All material was written by each of the individuals. And what's your station, Tanya? Is just your name?
Yeah, it's just my name, just Tanya Mikowski. Not that anybody can spell that without seeing it written, I'm sure. But anyway, you can find me on YouTube, and I'm east of San Francisco.
Nice.
Good. Just type in Tanya. Just type in Tanya in Google, and she'll come up on Twitter, Tumblr, and all the other handles there. So,
All right.
She's all over the place.
And of course, I am Rod J out of Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky. Rod J BeerVentures, www.rodjbeerventures.com. Can link you to all the different sites that are available. Find me on Twitter, Instagram, Untapped, YouTube, Blogger, wherever. It's like calling the candy man. You don't gotta say it. You don't gotta say it 13 times though. One will do.
All right.
So, well, all right. So, who wants to go ahead and start out first?
Ladies first.
There we go.
Sure.
Haven't seen her in a while.
I did learn some manners as a kid.
Good.
All right, so I went to the beer store to get a second beer, and I ended up with a second and a third beer. So we'll see how this works out. So this is Polliner Oktoberfest Marzen, and then, but it's not. Oh, you can't even see because it's kind of dark in my house. Anyway, it's not very Marzen-y colored. It's somewhat pale, so we'll have to see if it stands up to the fest beer lager style that we were discussing earlier, or if it really is a Marzen. Okay, can you turn the light on?
Are you writing these down there, Mr. Rod J? So, do you have these?
Do I have what? The Polliner?
her beer. So you have her beer and her ratings and all of that. Remember?
Keep the beer rating, I think.
Right.
I don't
All
have,
right.
but
Oh, it's actually darker than I thought it was. Now that I have some light in here, but still, I don't know. Anyway, all right. So let's take a look at this. It smells a lot like honey. It has a nice honey smell to it. And then wheat, like pretzel-y almost. And that makes me want to drink it a lot. So color-wise,
it's a good quality to have for sure.
I know, right? This is the place for that. So color-wise, maybe this will help. So it's actually pretty dark. So maybe it is a Marzen. I was thinking when I looked at it earlier that it wasn't, but we'll give it the benefit of the doubt. It's definitely nicely carbonated. It poured with a nice head that has dissipated a little bit, but I think the remnants will stick around. So let's cheers, or whatever the Oktoberfest version of cheers. I forget.
Gross.
Prost. Excuse me. Prost. All right.
Damn Americans.
Wow, no, this is actually pretty Marzen-y. I had my doubts, but it's got this great smooth, malty kind of toastiness to it. It's very toasty. I mean, it reminds me of toasted grains or like bread crust.
Well, it's definitely a Marzen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really it has like an almost sweet finish, like that honey aroma that I described first.
Right.
Nice crisp carbonation, and it really cleans up that flavor, and then you just get this kind of toasty finish. And it's actually really good. I wasn't sure what to expect from this, but this is an enjoyable beer. It is 5.8% alcohol by volume. Brewed in Munich, which is very important for an Oktoberfest. And brewed in accordance with the Bavarian purity law, using only water, malted barley, hops, and yeast. So there we go, Polliner.
It looks like it only has 2 IBUs, so it's not too hoppy then, right? At all.
Right, not hoppy at all. I mean, it barely has any bitterness to it. I mean, just like that toasty, kind of like dryness that anyway, but definitely not super hoppy.
Nice.
Excellent.
Nice.
Well, I might as well get this beer out of the way.
What are you gonna rate that?
Go ahead.
Oh, I definitely buy it again. So it'll be on a 5-point rating scale. So for the style, and buyability, I give it a 5, definitely.
Whoa!
Oh,
That is flat, the doorbell, the symbol. I mean, I don't even know what else I could throw at a 5. There we go.
That's the first five we've had.
I think so.
Yeah.
Well,
Eric's pretty pumped. He's ready to rock and roll. He's ready to jump all over the place.
I might as well get this one out of the way. Because Rajay's little examination on Thursdays, number 17, just like with number 19, I screwed it up again here. I thought I had some Oktoberfest beers lying around from this variety pack called the Tailgater Variety Pack from Harpoon, and I drank all the damn Oktoberfest beers. But this one's very, very similar. This one's very similar for the style, and I think it's gonna work real nicely in this examination. Anyways, it's called Flannel Friday. There you go.
Nothing says Oktoberfest like Flannel Friday.
Like flannel, right? Yeah, it's a hoppy. Exactly. Go figure. Like every Friday they wear flannel at the office.
Is this a lumberjack Oktoberfest or what?
He's from Boston, so I don't think they have lumberjack. But it is a hoppy amber ale, and that's what they're calling it, an amber ale at 35 IBUs and 5.7% alcohol by volume. They say there are subtle but unmistakable signs. The first hint of a chill in the air, the first few leaves that start to turn, the first day at the brewery when everyone shows up in flannel. That's the announcement of the arrival of fall.
But nothing about the first time, huh?
No. It is 5.7% alcohol by volume. It's got 10 reviews on BeerVentures with no actual ratings yet. And Untapped is giving it a 3.67 out of just a little over 6,800 reviews at the moment. And it came out this year, by the way.
Wow.
I will give you style points on the mug, though.
Yeah, it's the Fraunfelder beer mug from Fraunfelder, Switzerland, where my family's based out of.
Yeah.
Okay, so the beer definitely has more of a typical Oktoberfest look to it. It definitely has that reddish amber look to it.
Right.
And I don't know if you can tell. You probably can't in the lighting, unfortunately. But there's a lot of bubble streams, a lot of effervescence in this beer. And the head, I poured this beer maybe a good 5 minutes or 7 minutes ago, and it's retaining a nice thick white foam of head, and it's got some good lacing to it as well. It's pretty see-through, but again, it's a dark beer like our American versions of Oktoberfest will be.
Mm-hmm.
And it has the smell of floral hops. It's not too bad in your face, but you can definitely tell that's the first thing you get. Is floral hops. You do get some caramel and toffee malts. And you do get a lightly toasted malt scent. There is brown bread and some brown sugariness to it, but not a whole bunch of sugariness. So the flavor of the Flannel Friday, cheers, is entirely all of those things. You know, the baseline of it reminds me a lot of Oktoberfest or of a Vienna lager in the sense where it's got those toasted brown bready malts to it. Very toasted in its flavor. You do get those floral malts and a little bit of a piney note to it, but it's way more pronounced, the hoppiness in the nose than in the taste of it. There is a nuttiness or some kind of a toasted quality. Again, there's like a brown bread crust to it. And there is a little bit of brown sugar or molasses type sweetness to it. I'd say the mouthfeel is on the medium side. It's very crisp. It's nice and refreshing, and it cleans the palate, actually. It is very refreshing. This head just sticks around forever. It's got nice lacing. And it's
Finally, Tanya, huh? Huh, Tanya? Finally.
Yes, lots of noise.
I had to. Let's see here. I'm going to mute Crunch for a little bit because he's got a lot of feedback coming.
Okay. So the head, this beer obviously came out of I have it in a little cooling pack there, but it is a 12-ounce bottle. But the head is almost nitrogen in a way where it makes it taste nice and creamy and almost velvety smooth in a way. I would still say it's a medium-bodied beer. It's thin when it starts, but as it finishes, the body picks up a little bit. But these toasty, nutty, bready, sugary, like with the brown sugar and the molasses, are reminding me, especially that toasted note, is reminding me of Oktoberfest beers and beers you want during that season and beers you want in the fall time. I did put this beer on my Massachusetts Beer Review page of Facebook, and I gave it an 88 out of 100. And that's a B+. That's probably around a 3.75 out of 5 on Beer Advocate, and I'm going to stick with that rating. It's a really awesome beer. If you find it, try it.
Nice. Good job. A good wrap up. And try to bring Crunch back in here, but I can't get him unmuted. Just Crunch has to do that part.
Yeah, that was a good crickets. That was a good stand-in. I think you're right. You didn't have an official Oktoberfest, but it sounded comparable.
Just without all the hoppy flavors, it's exactly what it would taste like without that 35 IBUs.
Are you meeting yourself, Crunch, or what? I'm trying to bring you back in, but you can do this Charlie Chaplin.
He's not talking to us anymore.
You must unmute yourself.
Ah. Well, I'm going to go ahead then. If the Crunch
there we go. There you go.
There it is.
Yeah, once we mute you, we can't unmute you on
Gotcha.
the side of things.
So I'm going to do this one real quick because this is one that goes out to Jay or Ron, whatever we're going to call him today since he's not here. So,
well, go ahead and mute me then because I got a bachelorette party.
No, it don't sound bad. It don't sound bad now because
join that party, sir. Get going.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
To a bachelorette party.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead and mute me.
Okay, so this is the Beck's Oktoberfest. So not one that I would usually purchase, but watching Jay a few times, he's been on a little bit of a Beck. I think it was Jay was on a Beck's kick for a while. So
Yeah.
I ended up seeing
lager, and then I said, well, why don't we do all these Dunkel beers? I was like, oh, okay, good idea. We'll do the Dunkel.
So I ended up seeing it in the store, decided to pick it up, and just like most of your Marzans, comes out with that nice deep kind of reddish amber type color. It did come out with a nice 2-finger head. I just refilled it up again. Now it's down to about 1/8 of a finger, but it doesn't hold as well. It dissipates pretty quickly.
I was going to say that the glass might not hold that much of a head retention.
Yeah, it might not. It's kind of more of a, well, this is kind of like a tulip glass, but it's a little more elongated.
Yeah, it's like a strange.
Yeah, it's one of the special
glass.
I like to get funky with the glasses once in a while, so I actually stopped using the pint glasses because I can't take using those anymore. Yeah. But
go on.
Lost my train of thought. Anyway, so the problem I have with this kind of one, and I don't know why I picked it up, because I just picked it up because it was there, it's the adjuncts. It's the adjuncts come right through. You can tell it's not really that much of a craft beer. It's more a macro course. So I get like that corn smell coming out. I thought it might be something a little bit different. Mm-hmm. But the aroma is definitely underwhelming. The taste, again, I get hit with that macro type taste. And I don't hate macro beers, but when you have some of the craft Marzen beers, or even like Tanya had, the ones that are straight like from Germany that follow the purity laws, it's hard to stack up against it. But I thought it'd be a little bit different and kind of branch out. I get the flavors in the mouth that are kind of the adjunct with the corn or whatever they may use in there. The bitterness is fine. It comes in at a 5% ABV. So it is one you can actually session. It wouldn't be horrible over a period of time. It's just, I feel like it leaves me with something to be more desired out of it with some of the other Oktoberfest beers out there. I do get a little bit nice of a mouthfeel taking place. It does get around a little bit where it has a nice crisp finish on the background, on the back end. It just doesn't give you everything you would want to have, I think.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm on this website that our good buddy Ron uses a lot of the time.
Right.
For the beers that are produced and distributed by InBev. It's called tapintoyourbeer.com. Beck's is a line of beers that is owned by InBev.
Okay.
And the website gives you all the nutritional facts and the ingredients. And the ingredients are just like Tanya's. Water, barley, malt, hops, and yeast. So there is no corn made in that beer, regardless of the fact if it's done in Germany or if it's done in Baldwinsville, New York, depending on what your bottle there says.
Well, it's definitely got an adjunct taste, though.
It's got more of a grainy taste, you're saying?
Right.
Okay.
So I don't know how they may have situated. I mean, versus other ones, like the one I have on the next one that I'll do is actually one that's considered to be a real good one from over in Germany, and it's a totally different taste, I believe.
Gotcha.
It's not horrible that I couldn't drink it, though. Like, I can sit through and drink these.
Yeah.
It's just that there's not a lot of zing with it. It's kind of
not exciting enough to you.
Right.
Can I see the bottle? Interesting.
Yeah.
I've never even seen that before. Oh, so it says specifically that it's a lager.
Right.
I don't know. I guess technically.
I think technically Oktoberfest are
lagers, technically.
Yeah.
American brewers will take shortcuts and use ales because it speeds up the time to process them, but traditional ones are lagers. And this one actually says originated in Bremen, Germany.
Yeah, that's where the recipe is. That's where the Beck's originates from, but it probably says somewhere product of the USA on the bottle.
But yeah, maybe it's just that AB and Bev touch or whatever. I don't know. It just I do get a little bit of the adjunct flavor. Again, not a horrible beer.
Yeah,
I would probably rate this one out probably around 2.25, 2.5, somewhere around there.
I think
I'm probably disappointed with it, but it's not going to knock you back as an Oktoberfest beer, in my opinion.
I think all the Beck's beers are really solid beers, and by solid, I don't mean that they're like. I think they're all really well done. I don't think that they're much to really, you know, write home about, but I don't think they're really horrible beers. I think they're really good in the middle beer products, although I know you might be a little bit of a tangent here, but I know that a lot of people have been trying to get on this within the last year or two. A lot of people have been trying to get on this bandwagon of getting on the class action lawsuit that, you know, Beck's beer isn't brewed in Germany anymore for the American
yeah, I've heard about that.
You got to sue them. You got to sue Anheuser-Busch because you're paying a premium price for your Beck's Oktoberfest when it's brewed in Baldwinsville, New York, for God's sakes.
Yeah, and this one actually says product of USA, St. Louis, Missouri.
Gotcha.
And it does have the Brower Beck and Company. So I guess they were using a plant out in St. Louis as well. But again, it's, you know, it's kind of like if you were going from your macros to your craft, it wouldn't be a bad one to try first before you jumped over into it. I think in that regard, it could be a nice beer to give it a shot.
Uh-oh. Crunch went away.
He fades out once in a while. He'll be back.
He didn't last week, luckily.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Last week he was fine. It's
your bottle. There are people that complain about it, and I didn't tell you about mine, and I don't think Tanya did. But does your bottle have a date on it anywhere?
Mine does not. It has the code, which I didn't look up, but there's a code that they said you can go to certain sites and see. I prefer my bottles to have dates on them, though.
Yes.
Whether it's the born on or the expiration.
Mine says enjoy by January 15th, 2017. So that's pretty
good. Plenty of time there.
Yeah, the headquarters of Harpoon is in Boston, and they also have a Windsor, Vermont location. Here
it comes. Yeah, and this one I said 5%. It actually says 5.2% ABV.
Gotcha.
So not a bad, like I said, it's a middle of the road beer. That's all I can say. It's a middle of the road beer. I wouldn't hate it. It's just not something I would probably hunt down. But it's something to try just to see what else is out there.
3 out of 5, right?
I think it's 2.5 out of 5.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so here we go.
Crunch, your turn.
Crunch, you ready?
Yes, I am, guys. I haven't listened to you guys all night. All right.
Well, now he's got a party going. What are you doing there, man? Got friends now?
Got a minute. Got some friends.
Did you run outside and say, please come do a video with me?
You got to sample with friends. Let's sample with friends. Featuring Crunch.
Crunch's pickup line. You know I do this show, right?
I want to hear it.
Continue.
Crunch just froze up. There he is.
I got to do the track number 5, the Walla Walla IPA. This one here is a German.
Stop.
It's a German Pilsner with Caterpillar malts, with Demerara sugar, locally grown Empire Chinook hops, which I actually passed the other day. I will be doing a little video out from there. And it includes 8 pounds of dried hops. Now this comes in at 7.6 ABV.
Ooh, that sounds good. I want that beer right now.
There you go.
So you said IPA though? Is it an Oktoberfest IPA or is it just an IPA?
Well, it's because of the fact it's just an IPA, but it's a German Pilsner. So they do all of their stuff.
Yeah. So you went like Eric and just chose something different.
No, well, he's got a whole sampler right here, right now.
I know. I'm just messing with him. Although he froze up again.
We need a giving him trouble. Not the word I would normally use. Giving him trouble soundbite.
Yeah.
There has to be a.
All right. Anyway.
Bird noise.
Right now we're waiting for Crunch to come back. You know. Maybe we should set up a GoFundMe page for Crunch and his wireless.
And his internet. No kidding.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like he comes in at all these different places, and
right.
that has hey.
We decided, Crunch, we're going to set up a GoFundMe page for your internet connection.
Yeah, well, my sidekick keeps taking me away here, so we have to get offline for a second. So anyway,
there you go.
So here we go with this one here.
Yes, your IPA.
It's got a lot of green. It's got a lot of green smell to it. You get a lot of hops, smell to it right off the bat. Nice big green. Can you smell that? Smell it.
No.
Drink it.
No, it's not scratches.
Very citrus.
No, it's not scratches.
Very citrus. Yeah.
Got a very,
Earthy.
very citrus on there. A lot of green on there. It's definitely got that IPA
Yeah,
flavor in
IPA
it.
bite. Yeah.
That's your-
It's got the bite of the hops for sure.
Definitely
Is it-
right in there on the
Is
side.
it
But very
citrusy?
light. But very light. Very light.
Citrusy, floral, pine, leather. What do you get?
More pine. You
More
definitely get
pine.
the.
Yeah.
You definitely get a lot of the pine in there.
Excellent.
But really green. You get it in your front mouth feel right there.
And it's not
And it-
overbearing
No,
at all. Yeah.
Nice.
You can really taste the flavors.
you definitely get it there. Overall, it's a great, beer. Like I said, they brew everything right here on premise. So you can see right here, it's a microbrewery right here. So everything's gonna be in that style. And I'm definitely with this. I get a little bit of grapefruit, right? And I'm gonna go with this one here. I'm gonna go a 3.8. What about you? On a scale of 1 to 5.
1 to 5. Personally, I'm more of a fan of the fruities, so I would say maybe like a 2.8. 2.8. I like the fruity. I like the fruity and light.
So she likes the fruity,
flavor.
which is why she's with
I
me.
like the fruity and the light. That's just
Goodbye, Crunch.
Crunch.
Oh, freaking hell.
Crunch.
All right.
That joke was too much. The internet couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
I guess I'll tell you. I'll tell you. The worst Oktoberfest I've ever had was last year. It was a Dead Ringer by Ballast Point. That was terrible.
Horrible.
Terrible. And even that Chad's beer review guy even thought it was terrible.
Or as Charles Barkley would say, terrible.
Yeah, that's a terrible idea.
All right, guys. Sorry about that.
Horrible.
Yeah,
Yeah. Don't worry, that GoFundMe page is underway.
no problem.
Yeah, the brewery needs it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I'm telling you, but on that one there, like I said, I'll go 3.8. I like it. It's good. And, that's it's not bad. It's really good for that.
Sounds good.
All right. So, Tanya, you got another one there.
I have another one. Okay, hold on.
She does.
She pulled a J and took off when it was her turn.
Wait a minute. I gotta get my history textbook.
Okay, I have.
Ron, I mean, time is back.
So this is
Shit.
Oktoberfest.
Pull that one right up under there.
And it says on here that it's a Paso Marzen beer. And I have to tell you, I didn't even look that up because I didn't realize it until this afternoon, and then I got distracted by work. So I'm not even certain what that means. And so if anybody wants to fact check these things, that would be great. It also specifically says Oktober, so I'm curious, is this actually like oak age? I don't think
Let me
so.
look that up for you. I'll be your fact checker here.
Cool. So I do have this giant beer boot thing, but it's just too big to drink a beer out of. So I can't match Eric in the
Nothing is ever too big to drink a beer out of.
Good point. Good point. It's too big to drink this tiny beer out of. I would have
There
to
you
put my
go.
hand in, which I have done. Okay. So
All right, here we go. Your Oktoberfest is 5%, 24 IBUs. It says inspired by our hometown of Paso Robles, Pass of the Oaks.
Paso Robles? Oh, I didn't realize that they were
Yep.
down south.
That means Pass of the Oaks. A proper German Marzen beer, traditional imported malts. The star of this brew are imported Pilsner and Vienna malts and German Hallertau hops, and it's available September to October. So that's all they tell you. And you got to enjoy it 90 days, like Firestone Walker tells you to enjoy their beers.
Did you get the Bavarian hops?
Yeah, German Hallertau hops.
No. Okay. The spiciness, it says some Bavarian hops, and then it has some hop stuff.
Yeah.
And it's now in bottles.
Cool. Thank you very much for that fact check. I was thinking that maybe it was oak, but I had it before, and this is like can number 3 out of a 4-pack, so I was pretty sure it wasn't oaky. But then I read the name, and I was like, hey, what's going on here? And then shout out to Paso Robles while we're here. So anyway. All right. So this is an interesting beer. It's not toasty or honey-like that last one. It's I can't even think of a good word. I don't know.
You by the tongue?
What word would Tanya go with? Let us decide.
Right? Yeah, I don't know. I have to say, and I hate using this description because usually if I use it, it's negative. So bear with me. Anyway, it smells very much like a lager.
Well, it should be a lager, though.
Right. So we'll see what happens now. Appearance-wise, it's a beautiful golden color. It's not terribly dark, but it does have a little bit of copper color to it. It poured with a nice head, even in this tiny little tasting glass. Yep. Definitely carbonated. And let's just jump in and taste it.
They call the color 12 SRM on their website.
On the website?
Yep.
All right. This beer, I don't think is a Marzen.
You don't think it is?
I don't think it is. It has like this perfumey taste to it. And like this almost floral kind of thing going on.
Isn't there a difference? I know you're the BJCP girl. Isn't there a difference between a Fest beer and a Marzen beer? And it might be more towards the Fest style beer.
Right, that's definitely true. But it says right here on the can, Marzen. So,
yeah, I think they're considered a Marzen.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
Paso Marzen make the difference or something.
Yeah.
And I would even describe this as like a maybe not a Hellesbock, but a Helles lager, and because it has that lager undertone to it, but it's got this great kind of floral presence to it, which all in all I find enjoyable. I find this a very drinkable beer, but I don't think it's to style. Nice, light and crisp, but I don't get any toasty, roasty notes out of it. I don't get necessarily a lot of malts. I feel like the floral that I'm getting is probably hop derived, but it has like a slight uptick in bitterness at the finish. But like I said, it's an enjoyable beer. So I don't find it not drinkable, but I don't know necessarily that it's to style, and certainly wasn't what I was expecting when I picked it up.
Let me tell you what the site says. It says...
Go ahead. I was just going to say that. Yeah.
A proper German Marzen beer, traditional imported malts offer subtle honey-like aromas with hints of noble hop spice. The stars of this brew are the imported Pilsner and Vienna malts that offer malty sweetness that carry through to the end. German Hallertau hops add rich noble hop character to balance the exceptional Marzen. True to Oktoberfest custom, this beer only makes its debut in September and October to celebrate the old German tradition. So you're not getting any of the honey qualities out of it?
Not at all. No. Maybe honey at a stretch, but I'm reading in the BJCP style guideline for flavor, and it says initial malt flavor often suggests sweetness, but finishes moderately dry to dry. Distinctive and complex maltiness often includes bready, toasty aspect, and I definitely experienced that earlier with the polliner. Definitely malty and toasty, bready. And then it says also that hop bitterness is moderate, and the hop flavor is low to none. And so it does say that German types include something floral. So maybe it's just more hop forward than the style would call for, and so therefore it seems a little bit weird. but I definitely don't get the maltiness out of this.
It only has a 24 IBU, so
I was gonna say almost to a certain extent. It sounds like the Southern California, as usual, to have more of a hot flavor than it should on certain styles of beer.
Right, exactly. Overall, I think it's a great beer. You know, if I were just to be like, hey, do you like Firestone Walker Oktoberfest? You'd be like, yeah, it's great. How is it for style? Nah, I don't know. I feel like for style, you know, it really comes in low. Maybe a 3, maybe just a 2. You know, but for overall drinkability, and whether or not I would buy it again, it's definitely a good beer. And I might buy it again. Now that I know it's not the style and I've drank it, I probably won't buy it again just because I like to buy different beers, but I don't know. So I feel like good, but not you know, I don't know. If you're looking for something interesting and outside of the usual spectrum, that this is probably the way to go. But if you're looking for something very traditional, you're looking for something very distinctly Marzen, I don't think this is the way to go.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's fair. So would you say you would rate that one?
A 2 or 3 for style and probably a 4 personal. So I don't know. So does that make it like a 3? 2, like a 3? Yeah.
Like a 3. We'll go middle of the road, right? So
yeah, middle of the road. Middle of the road.
The one thing I have noticed from that Beck's that I had earlier is as it warmed up, it did get more of the honey out of it, and it did lighten up a little bit more on the flavor and stuff too. So it's almost like maybe I had it too instantly cold when I first did it. So I'm letting the other one like kind of warm up right now. Because unlike your macros, you're not drinking a lot of these beers usually ice cold. You usually want to get them to a little bit more 40 to 50 degree range. So that might have been something that why the flavors, but the flavors do come out better now. I'd probably move this from a 2.5 to probably about 2 3/4 because of that.
That's fair.
But the other one I have here, I guess I'll go. Well, Crunch disappeared again, so unless he wanted to go, is the Spaten Oktoberfest. So,
all right, good beer, son.
This one is, as I butchered the name, right? Spaten. French Cotton, Lowenbrow, Gruber, Spaten, but Spaten's what I like. Like, this is Spaten. So I'm actually going to use a cylindrical glass for this one, only because I don't use it that much.
A string.
And it came out with about 1.5 fingers ahead. It kind of dissipated a little bit, like I just mentioned. I wanted to let it warm up, see if this will give me a little bit more of a kick, see if I can agitate that head a little bit. But this one has more of that lager smell, kind of that yeasty, bready, forced blanket, what you expect a lager to actually have.
Yep.
And that yeast just comes out of the glass real nice. You're not having to sniff hard to get it out. It just comes out of there. The ABV on this one, my one site says 5.9, but I want to spot it here.
The SpottingBeer.com says 5.9%, and
Yes.
it should have a bitterness unit level of 23.
Yeah, that's what mine says too, and 5.9 in the bottle, and it says malt liquor on there too. But as we know, you can be a malt liquor after a certain level anyway, even though
Yes, correct, especially in Europe. Yep.
But this one, I do like better on the opening. It has a nice flavorful sweetness with it as it hits the mouth. Has a nice crisp break on the back end that you expect to get on the Marzen. Nice refreshing quality to it. Goes from the tongue up into the cheeks very nicely. No harshness going down on the back end. Just a really nice, crisp tasting beer. A perfect beer that you're going into that fall weather, you know, before it gets too warm. Kind of that. This is kind of like that hayride type beer. Hayride, you're on the bonfire, you're out in October type year, October time of the year. I've only had 2 beers, damn it. But it's got a nice quality wrapped around. Like this one says fall. The one from Beck's didn't really say fall as much. I guess you could say this says fall with a capital F versus a little F from Beck's.
More of a toasty type of quality, is that right?
Right. It just reminds me of everything you would want to have at this time of year as you're at Oktoberfest. So very nice in that regard. The texture is very nice. Very dry that you want to have on a Marzen. The body on this one sits as a nice medium body. The other one on Beck's is also medium as well.
Yeah.
The only thing I would knock on maybe like the head, and it could be the glass I used didn't last as long. You can see a little bit of lacing taking place, but it's not really sticking as much there. But outside of that, it's pretty much solid. So this one, as an Oktoberfest type beer, I'd give it 3.75 out of 5. I think it has some real good drinkability with it. So
that's not bad.
Definitely check it out.
All right. Well,
What you got to drink there now, Mr.
I know, I keep popping in and out, here. Well, as we all know, Mr. J likes his IPAs. They actually have one here called J Walking IPA.
Oh.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and get the J Walking IPA here, a little taste out. It comes in at 10.5 ABV.
Wow.
Big dog.
That'll make you jaywalk.
But he does have a little glass.
Yeah.
That's the way to be right there.
Got my special Oktoberfest glass for the 14-year-olds. But yeah, these have been poured about 5 minutes before we went live, so it still has a nice little head on there. This has definitely got a lot of fruit and citrus taste in here. The descriptions here says it's a German.
Goodbye. Germanity.
I hope he's not saying a germ infestation.
I would say,
that would be good.
We're playing the Houston Texans tonight.
Oh, okay.
And so,
wow.
What's so German about your beer?
And so that's what you get. That's all you get. It's got all of those things I just described.
No one heard you, Crunch. You disappeared on us again.
You're drinking Coors Light. What's going on?
I saw you. I know. I saw you there, but no. So here we go. Here, it's definitely got a lot of that citrusy smell on there. This thing here tells me that it's German Munich. It's got Calipil, caramel, organic, 2-row malts, generous amount of local grown Columbus and Cascade hops, along with Amarillo and Pico. So, yeah, dried hop with Pico and Citra. So
not Pico, but Pico.
Yeah,
Zach.
Pico. But definitely, you get a lot of the citrus out of there. Definitely, a tropical. Definitely got a tropical smell to it. So let me get a little taste out, see what we come out with here.
Cheers.
Yeah, definitely that sweet tropical citrus flavoring. A lot of green in there. Not my style. I know it's an IPA, Mr. Rajay, you'll love it. But for me, this one here, way too much green, way too much hops. I would prefer it to be tamed down, a little bit more barley. 10.5% ABV.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an IPA, it's an imperial IPA, so you're going to get green.
No, that's even too much for an imperial IPA. That alcohol content's intense. That's like, in the neighborhood of barley wine.
Mm-hmm. My favorite kind of IPAs, regardless of the fact if they're imperial, because I do really, really, really like that Optimum IPA from Sierra Nevada. It's got to have a good, what I personally consider it as is a good hop to malt ratio. It's got to be really, really balanced where there's not one thing that's taking place that's overpowering the beer. And it sounds like that's what you're getting, right, Crunch?
Yeah, but I mean, you could have a Molotov Cocktail is a triple IPA. That's 13%. So he's got
damn.
got
I'm sorry, guys.
IPA.
Yeah. Sorry.
So are you getting so you're not getting a very balanced IPA in terms of the hop to
Nope.
malt kind of a taste to it?
Nope, not at all. Not at all. And the funny thing about it, this is a triple IPA.
See, triple. There you go.
Yeah, it's like a barley wine IPA.
Yep.
Yeah, I like triple IPAs. So like Molotov Cocktail is one of my favorites.
Well, this is why it's called the Jaywalking Triple IPA.
It'll make you jaywalk for sure.
You'll be walking and your name will be Jay.
Yeah. But,
Ron J or J Carrier?
Or Ron. It could be Ron as well.
but either way, it's not to my style, not to my flavor. Drinkability is good. It will definitely go well with some of this pizza that I got left. So definitely a good food pairing. And stuff if you want a little lettuce, like the lettuce I have on here. Definitely go good with that green, that lettuce and stuff. Make a good match with that. For just regular drinkability, not my style. Unfortunately, I'm going to go a little low on the rating. On this one here, I'm going to go about 2.6. Okay, but nothing that I'm going to write home or recommend to my friends.
Yeah, I guess the moral of Crunch's story is not all beers are created equal.
Yeah.
Well, we know Chris doesn't like IPAs as much either, though.
And also understand this is a microbrewery, so they brewed it the way they like it. So it's not, just the way it is. So
what's the name of that one again?
the name of this, it's the Jaywalking Triple IPA. So,
Triple IPA.
all right.
Is there a beer at this establishment that you gravitate towards?
Oh,
Uh-oh. I asked the wrong question.
Yes, but none of these. That's the answer.
Will he say yes, no, or maybe?
Join us at 7.
We gonna put money? Yeah, we're gonna put money on this.
Oh, no, wait a minute. Join us at 11. Go Patriots. Okay, I'm sorry.
Man down.
Help
this one
us.
here?
Help
the one.
us. Help
I
Chris.
know. My last one, last one here I got is called the Izar Oktoberfest. This is a 5.6 ABV. It is a German Red X Pilsner, Pale Munich and Vienna malts, then hopped with German Halfertus and Salz hops. So
Hallertau and Saz hops. All right.
no, Hallertau.
Hallertau.
Taus.
Let him go.
Multi-amber color, traditional German Marzahn. Oktoberfest style lager with a crisp, slight, spicy finish. So let's see if that comes out all true.
That should be the typical stylistic preferences of an Oktoberfest. It should be.
Not much of a nose on this, but then again, it could be just the glass. It also could be that it's been sitting here for a little bit. But,
Okay.
nothing on the nose. It's really just pretty plain. So let's get a taste out till we get in the mouthfeel. Oh yeah, now we go. Definitely Marzahn here. It is crisp. Definitely got that little spiciness in there. Definitely get that little sweetness. Definitely that little redness, sweetness in there. Almost like a slight raspberry sweetness. So that's really good. I like that. You guys still there?
Yeah, we're here.
Oh, okay.
I'm here.
I didn't hear
We're
anybody
always
say-
here. Are you here?
We're here all night. Performing all week
But,
right here.
Yeah, this is actually
So-
very good. This is
so-
actually very good. I wish I would have started out with.
And what's he going to say next? Wish I would have started out when I was a little bit younger. I wish I would have
I
started
wish
out.
I would have started out with this beer because it's much better than the rest.
Yeah.
And alcohol and bitterness, ratings. It's probably hard to take that one last.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey.
All right,
Hey.
Vince, what do you have to say?
Like I said, I wish I would have started out with this one because this one is really, really good. I really like this. It's got that nice flavor. Definitely a great German style beer. Definitely what I expect, what I would want at 5.6. All right, I definitely pair this up with any of the food here. It's awesome. I'm going to give this one here a 4.7.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely like it. It's really good.
All right, I'm going to jump off here. I got a buddy here that's going to watch the Patriots with me, so we're going to go and do that and enjoy another couple of beverages. But you tell me what the tell me what the correct topic is next week, and I'll do it correctly next week.
Are you sure?
I don't know. I'm going to try.
We told you last week. We told you last week that this week was going to be.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we should talk in a different language or something.
Yeah. All right,
Enjoy the game. Your boys are up 3-0.
Good. So again, Flannel Friday from Harpoon gets a 3.75 out of 5 from me. The Massachusetts BeerVentures channel of YouTube. Until next time, keep tasting those great beers. Cheers.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, Tanya, you got another one there, I know.
Well,
I
gotta go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Tanya.
Oh, did he just like?
I have to catch yours on review because I got to go here.
Okay.
So, as always, Rod, go ahead and let me know what next week's beer is, and we will go ahead and go from there.
All right, we'll do, man.
All right, guys.
Good. Enjoy yourself.
All right. I'm gonna go hang out with this bachelorette party.
Okay. Yeah. Good luck.
Oh.
Okay.
All right.
So this is I had to get this because Ninkasi is my favorite. I had to think about that. Yeah, Ninkasi is pretty much I think that's safe to say is my favorite brewing company. They put out a lot of great stuff.
Okay.
So this is Ninkasi Brewing Company's Oktoberfest, and it says Oktoberfest style lager, 5.5%. And it's made, it looks like the label is very similar to not Spaten. Who has this, anyway, whatever, I guess it's not important.
It might have been mine, actually.
I was thinking it was like Spaten, but,
Like
yeah, okay. Yeah, exactly. So it's got this, got that style on it, which is cool. So this is 40 IBUs, which I have to say is pretty high for this style.
Yeah.
But I don't know. And so this is where you're going to see my bias coming through, because if Firestone Walker deviates, I'm like, nah, this isn't cool. But if Ninkasi deviates, I'm maybe like, this is really good artistic work here. So
you want to give them a little bit more leeway.
Right. I'm willing to give them leeway because I've had many, 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 many amazing beers from them. All right, so let me get some white paper here. So, aroma, actually, I suppose. Off this fresh pour, kind of bitey, almost, like it's, I don't want to say a sour smell, but it almost has a sour smell to it. I'm going to have to come back to smell, I think, because I just poured it and it's not very, I don't know. Anyway, all right. So color-wise, it's definitely a pale gold color. It's not a roasty, toasty Marzen color. So
it looks almost a little sour from here.
Yeah, exactly. It's very, very pale. And it did pour with a nice head, which is good because this is a tiny little glass. So whenever something pours with a good head in these glasses, I feel like it's a nice pour. It's very carbonated. This is so bubbly as I'm watching it now. So I'm gonna try to come back to aroma. I feel like I get little to no aroma out of this at all, actually, which is weird.
Yeah. Well, that Beck's one didn't climb out of the glass for me either. But once it warmed up, it got a little bit better.
Yeah, maybe I should have pulled this out a little early and taken it, I don't know. Well, we'll see. Anyway. Okay, so let's go into flavor. So flavor. I I don't even know. This is not what I would expect out of an Oktoberfest. And I feel like at the first line on the back says crafted with Oregon grown hops.
Right.
I feel like that's a clear indication of what's coming ahead. It's definitely a hoppy beer. It's not an IPA. It's probably not even a pale ale, American pale ale, but
Right.
it's hoppy. I would even call it like a hoppy lager.
But it's still a lager, though, even at that high IBU, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's very smooth. It actually has a really nice, almost honey flavor going on. It's got that same quality I would expect out of a Marzen, which is a really weird combination of those two flavors.
Right.
Very dry finish. It's like a hoppy Marzen, and I feel like, and I wish that Eric were still on so we can compare that to the beer that he had, his flannel shirt or whatever, Flannel Friday.
From
I
Opun,
feel like it's similar in that respect. Otherwise, so it says, crafted with Oregon grown hops. This Oktoberfest marries Northwest ingredients with a traditional German style. Celebrating the harvest, this light-bodied beer has a toasty malt bouquet and just a touch of hop bitterness. And I can barely read that without my glasses. But I feel like that really is a very good description of what's going on here. It's a mashup beer. It's not. I would even say that it would probably be better categorized as a specialty beer, so it doesn't get discounted for not being a Marzen or not being an Oktoberfest lager. Yeah, I still don't get a lot of aroma. I mean, I guess it's lagery a little bit now. Citrusy, only a little bit. But definitely interesting. I feel like on the drinkability scale, this is a very smooth, even beer. I like that it has this kind of interesting hoppiness to it. I feel it's very drinkable and interesting, but not necessarily to style. And which puts it, I think, on par with the Firestone Oktoberfest. So good beer. Definitely, you know, if I were going to a party that I wanted to, with a person who really liked hops or IPAs, and I wanted to bring something that was seasonally appropriate, I think this is a good grab. So interesting.
What was the ABV on that one, you said?
5.5% and 40 IBUs.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
Yeah, I feel like, oh, and I've gotten out of that app. You know, like any way you go about that it just doesn't fit the style.
You seem torn on it right now.
Yeah, because I mean, I really like Ninkasi, and so it's hard for me to be like, why did you guys make this? And so, you know, stylistically, you know, it's definitely not what I was expecting, but drinkability, it's good. And, you know, personally, I appreciate it, but, you know, to put it into a very specific category is challenging. So even like a fest beer is, you know, it says 5.8 to 6.3, so it doesn't fit to that. And the IBUs would be 18 to 25, so it doesn't fit with that. A Marzen style would be 18 to 24 IBUs, so it doesn't fit with that, and 5.8 to 6.3%, so it does fall into that range. You know, so, I mean, I don't know, if we were to stretch, we could say it was a hoppy Marzen style beer.
Right.
And I think that was their intention. You know, they were trying to make a mashup, interesting thing going on. And I think that the hop heads will love that. So, I don't know.
Well,
So,
this could get back to the piece that I shared with you earlier about if Oktoberfest beers have lost their luster. So you could have some breweries out there trying to experiment and do different things now to try to make their beers more exciting or stand out. If you have the hophead, a lot of I would consider myself to be a pretty big hophead. I love IPAs. To get into Oktoberfest beers, I'll do a few here and there, but I'll get right back into IPAs, single, double, triple. I'll get into the stouts and stuff like that. I'll get into barley wines. But the Oktoberfest, a lot of times, they're like kind of the wheat ales. They're not as exciting for me. So now you're seeing more like, say, pale wheat ales, where people are trying to hop them up to get more of the hophead. So I think they maybe just experimented in a different way. I would think they must have probably test marketed the batch to see if people might like it, I would hope, rather than just throw a bunch out there. But you never know.
I don't know how that works. I guess if you were way into marketing, yeah. But if you don't have a big marketing department, then maybe no. And you just assume that your brewer knows what's up or knows their clientele. But, their beers are all over the place. They have, their beers are all over the place. So it's hard to know what their followers love the most because they do so many things.
Right.
But, I feel like right now the American beer trend is, hop heavy IPAs, hop heavy beers in general, and they're trying to push hops into all these different styles. And then also sours. And so maybe, they made the decision to, right?
I'm almost soured out right now.
Yeah, everybody's like, try this sour, and I was like, no, don't make me.
See, sour than the pumpkin beers coming out early. It's like, why? It's just,
yeah.
They're already running pieces about pumpkin beer sales falling off. I mean, there was pumpkin beers that came out last year they couldn't get rid of. So everybody this year is trying to come out early. But going up through February of last year, one of my places, you were getting cases of pumpkin beer for $8.99 a case, just so they can get something back on them.
Right.
I mean,
that's a good point. I feel like they're trying really hard to market these things and have people buy them because they're new and interesting and trendy, I guess. But I went to the seasonal beer at Venmo, which is a huge beer, wine, alcohol retailer out here. And I went to the seasonal section of the beer, and they had spring releases, they had summer beers, they had fall beers. It was all over the place. And I thought, they're just not selling these weird one-off things because nobody knows what they are or what direction they're trying to go in. And I think that for marketing purposes, people are, companies are trying to stack, this is what you should be drinking right now. But ultimately, people know what kind of beer that they like, and they're going to drink that. And maybe they'll be like, oh, let's dabble in this weird Ninkasi beer, but certainly not at the volume that they're going to drink whatever their regular beer is.
Right. I agree. And,
yeah.
That's one of the tough things. Breweries got to know what their crowds and stuff are. And there's like certain breweries that try to do too much, in my opinion. We've got some that like we got a brewery here that specializes in sour beers, and they do really good because they keep their specialization in it. We've got another one that does good, but they mainly do IPA, but they try to put IPA in everything. It turns off some of the people because they're not coming there for those type of things. But the ones that do love the IPA love the brewery. So,
it's hard to know. It's hard to know. I'm actually going to go in October to the Rare Barrel, which is in Berkeley, California, and it's a sour beer only place. And I don't even like sour beer, but my friend who knows I like beer was like, hey, I have this extra ticket. Do you want to go? And so I thought, I'll go for the experience. I want to see, like, if I walk in and I'm like, hey, I'm here with my friend who really likes sours. What do you have for me? What they're going to say. Because, it's so niche that it doesn't make sense to me. And then I feel like sour is going to fall by the wayside at one point and become this, bad 80s fashion that happened. And, and then
a bad members only jacket.
Yeah. And then this business, this business is going to go out of business because they were riding this very, very narrow rail of beer styles. I don't know. So or I could be totally wrong, and everybody loves sours, and I'm the only one who's like, why are we drinking this? I don't know.
Well, sometimes it's just finding the right one. Like I said, the brewery that does sours here in Cincinnati, they do a great job because they specialize in it.
Right.
And they know what they're doing with a lot of it. So they have different variations of it that you can find stuff that you usually like. And they're a little more unique. And what they do, they actually have a liquid you can add to the beers to cut the sours or to add more hops. And people can actually make their own type of beer, essentially, as far as the flavored aspect of it. So it makes it a little more unique. So for you or for anybody out there that wants to see how they do it, just check out my Urban Artifact video where we interviewed them and we did a tour around their facility and we showed how they can do different things for beers there. But that's something, because they know they specialize, they understand that it could be too tart for a lot of people. They've made the opportunities for people to bring that tartness off their beers. Where if you're not really dealing with that, you're not going to know how to affect that for people's palates. And so you're just stuck with the beer they hand you. So that's what makes them a little more unique.
Oh, this is a really sad pint. You know, I feel like I can drink probably a taster's worth of most sour beers, but to order a pint or to drink, 3 and 4 tasters, like it's too much. It's too much for me.
Yeah. Especially if it's too tart.
Right, it's too tart. Like it's really too acidic. I feel like actually it just gets into my stomach and it feels like they're having a fight down there. And but I have friends who and I try to type all of my friends, like what I want to know, like what type of beer do you like? What type of beer do you like? What type of beer do you like? And when I go to their events, I bring them, a very specially picked thing for them. And I have friends who are like, beer is okay, but sours are amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I guess it takes all types and all stomachs, to make
it's all about the palates and everything. And for sure. But, we'll go ahead and wrap this up, and then we don't go anywhere because then we'll talk about the other stuff.
We'll talk about the other stuff.
And then who knows, we may come back with another show. So thanks for everybody checking out Craft Beers Going Wild. Rod J here again in Cincinnati, and Tanya there in California. And you want to give me your station again, Tanya?
Yeah, it's Tanya Mikowski. And I feel like I should rename it so it's easier to find. But you can find me on YouTube if you Google me, Tanya Mikowski, and the last name is Makowski, Tanya with an O. But if you Google hopefully if you Google your favorite beer and my name, you'll find me. So.
There you go. And of course, if you're watching this, you're already on my channel, but down below you can see www.rodjbeerventures. That'll take you to actually my blog site, which will actually list all the information for Untappd, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, anything that you might want to hook up in social media, as well as even a podcast. Just get at me and we'll talk more beers, and hopefully you enjoyed the show, and hopefully you'll keep coming back for more and the reviews as well. With that, keep drinking good craft beers. Cheers, and we will catch you next time.
Cheers.